Easter eggs for a SummerSlam double turn, a Switch 2, and an El Grande Americano switcheroo. That's all coming up next. It's hard to know what to say when someone like Hulk Hogan passes, and I wish his final appearance didn't go as badly as it did, because his in-ring impact on wrestling simply cannot be understated. So I'll simply say this: rest in peace, Hulkster. And all that news has got me on the floor, so the ref is about to start the 10 count. Topic number 1, we go down the witch's roads, as I dedicated a full episode to Cena's Easter eggs, so I think it's appropriate to take at least a few minutes for Cody's. And he started out by talking about Hulk Hogan, but he wrapped that segment up by saying sometimes doing the right thing doesn't look like the right thing. And I think that right thing had nothing at all to do with Hogan here, and everything about this match and getting the title back. And he then said he doesn't want to wrestle this John Cena. Instead, he wants to wrestle the real John Cena. And sure, that could be a show of respect for wrestling one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but could it be for a double turn instead so that he's able to get a win? I guess he also wants to have all the hustle, loyalty, and respect from that John Cena, and he wants Cena to beat all of those 3 things out of him as well. So if he beats those 3 traits out of him, does that mean Cody's now able to do those very bad things instead? Pretty interesting there, Cody. He also said he needs to know that this story meant something, so he used the words legacy and real again in this segment as well. And if they do something very similar to that WrestleMania match at SummerSlam, well, it's not going to go down as one of the great matches in wrestling history now, is it? But if those two switch sides, it surely would. So I think there's a pretty good chance of that happening after all of these Easter eggs. And while I would love to hold my pick for SummerSlam until after this week's SmackDown, I guess I don't get that luxury, so I guess we'll have to see what they have to say. And even though I don't get to make it with those predictions, we'll certainly be watching very closely for any more of these potential Easter eggs. Topic 2, Tag Team Turmoil. Well, they did it. One TLC match on SmackDown simply was not enough for the SmackDown men's tag division, so we are getting our TLC match at SummerSlam. First, we had a fun tag team title match between the Wyatt Six and Andrade and Rey Fenix. The latter two are so incredible. We had Andrade delivering another message after he's been delivering message after message over the last few weeks. And of course, when he was about to win, we had Nikki Cross finally doing something by pulling the ref out of the ring. Now, I think that particular move never really causes a DQ, so I did not love to see them do that here. It would have been better if the DQ would have been Eric Rowan wrecking everyone instead, which we got right after the DQ was called. And so the brawl was on after Rowan got involved, and so did everyone else except, quizzically, for Los Garza, because what was that? Why are they not included here? Berto was in the 8-man tag match a couple weeks ago. I rather would have had a 7-pack TLC match, but admittedly the 6-pack will absolutely do. It looks like it'll be amazing. Also want to briefly touch on the 8-woman tag match. That was pretty fun, also pretty predictable. I was hoping that would give me the other tag match that I talked about in my snubs video last week, where I said we should have Stephanie and Nikki take on Chelsea and Piper. As of yet, that hasn't happened. I don't know if that means that was the end of this feud, but I don't see a downside in them adding that match, so let's make it official, Adam Pearce. And lastly, we had our first mixed tag team match of the year, and I'll start with another what were you thinking moment, because every week it is something with Kairi now, isn't it? This time she just kind of stood there for several seconds waiting to get hit with an assisted fall-away slam instead of, actually doing something about it and attacking Raquel like a normal person instead. But anyways, this match was not about that. Instead, it was about Dom saving Roxanne and then Roxanne returning the favor by stopping a phenomenal forearm by standing in front of Dom. This didn't help with the result, as Styles did land that phenomenal forearm anyways, but those two are building some more chemistry here. So, topic 3, everything, everywhere? I don't know. Things got wacky in the Judgment Day's World Tag Team title defense, but a little bit of props to Wilde and Del Toro first. The problem is not them being good in the ring, because they are awfully good in the ring. The problem is they have no characters at all to care about. But I do want to at least give them their props for the Coast to Coast by Wilde, the double suicide dives, and then the Moonsault Phoenix Splash combo right before this match got interrupted. So the Judgment Day are retained here, and they're not on the SummerSlam card, so will they do something in either of the other title matches to make everything everywhere all at once happen? I guess we'll have to find out, because Balor sure loves throwing Dom and Roxanne together, so should be interesting. Alright, topic number 4, Dos Grandes. We need to stay here with this match because we now have 2 El Grande Americanos, as the taller Americano did his thing, as we would expect, to distract the referee here, but he was quickly dispatched when Dragon Lee arrived, so those two fought up the ramp and disappeared. But what was this right after that? A second El Grande Americano, or perhaps a third El Grande Americano? But this was not Chad Gable, for all those Gable truthers out there. He was clearly hurt in that baseball clip from the other day. So why does El Grande Americano have a beef with LWO? Or is this actually just one El Grande Americano who can shapeshift on a dime and can speedrun from the top of the ramp and then jump the barricade just a few moments later? I guess we can't rule it out because he's the greatest luchador of all time. But for now, I guess this is truly a who done it. Topic number 5, welcome back. First, we will welcome back The Miz after missing almost 2 months filming American Gladiators. And I think Miz must have thought that he was a gladiator instead of the host of the show, because he immediately showed some tude and went after Jacob Fatu, slapping him in the face to get himself a match. And yeah, that went about as well as we expected. So despite some help from Solo Sikoa and the MFTs, he still found his way to another loss. And again, he lost before the actual finisher because a pop-up Samoan drop was enough to do him in. And also, quick shout out to Kiana James for her first real appearance since June of 2024. She was spotted in the background briefly last week with Julia, and now, 1 week later, she's her full-on representative, so this is a pretty good way to see Kiana get back onto TV a lot more, so I'm looking forward to what she and Julia can do going forward. So let's go to the winner of the week. There is not much to choose from this week with a less than stellar week in the ring, so we'll go with 2 psychological warfare winners in Lyra Valkyria and CM Punk. Lyra couldn't exactly count or dance in her Becky stompers, but she knew exactly what Becky was going to do after her music hit, and she didn't even need to look around before she decided to dropkick her through the ropes and then smashed her several times with the kendo stick. And yes, Becky snuck away before Nightwing, but Becky will have to think twice about her game plan going into this match at SummerSlam. And then for Punk, just when Gunther thought he had conquered Punk on the mic, Punk made him look like a rookie, as he said he earned the title of Best in the World, and he got Gunther to bite when he compared their careers together, only to get immediately shut down by putting his hand over the mic. And then after another barb, he caused Gunther to be visibly frustrated as Punk walked away. And with that, let's go to the loser of the week. It is Roman Reigns. Reigns ran out at the end after the match was over, but a 100% fresh Reigns couldn't get Bronson Reed up for a Samoan drop, so that definitely does not look good for him at all. Then after he was able to clear the ring, well, he just could not leave well enough alone, as he concocted a scheme to have both Jay and him hit some spears on both of the men in the Braun Squad, but he immediately got shut down by both of them as he took a spear from Breakker and Jay took a clothesline. And that led to Breakker hitting that leaping clothesline over the announce table and both taking tsunamis, and then Breakker finishing it off with a double super spear through the barricade. And then to add insult to injury, Reed removed Reigns' shoes and took them as his trophy. So as bad as Reigns looked there, I will give him some props and say that those kicks look pretty darn sick. And let's wrap it up with stats of the week, and it is Big Bronson Reed. So is Reed actually better off now than he was last year? He had been on quite a run at 7-3 in his last 10 one-on-one matches with a decision. He also had 1 no contest mixed in there as well. But his momentum was stopped following his ill-fated tsunami off of the top of the War Games cage. And now, since his return and teaming up with Rollins, Heyman, and Breakker, he is 0-4 in singles matches and 1-5 in all matches, as it seems that he is destined to be the sacrificial lamb whose matches don't matter in this group, as Rollins, Heyman, and now Breakker all have put together schemes to inflict punishment on his opponents instead of letting him prove his own mettle in the ring. So, while he's not making a lot of waves in his tsunami summer, during matches at least, he's not making any wins either. But hey, at least he's got those shoes to take home. At least I did not get snubbed in my attempt here like most of the wrestlers in my top 10 potential snubs for SummerSlam. And if you snub watching that video, be sure to go right on over here and check that out. But until next time, I am the SportsZu, and this has been Stop the 10 Count.